Here's kind of a formula. Did they copyright it? Well, the good thing we have to deal with coming up is a lot of copyrights and a lot of patents are about to be revoked. And there's going to be prosecutions for people that lied and said they were entitled to copyright or patent something they should never have fucking had access to begin with, A. And B, to try to copyright or patent stuff that was blatantly illegal. And also to try to copyright stuff they stole that was supposed to be used as evidence or that was admitted as evidence, and then somebody allowed a laundering process to go through various case law flips, some of which I have, well, you would not believe, some of these case law flips go all the way back to the 50s and 60s. And if you have the statute of limitations run out on a particular case, then you can copyright elements of the motions. And then what ends up happening with the evidence, in case you need the evidence in order to demonstrate a long term pattern, right? Some securities are 20, 30, 40 years long. The statute of limit, you got twice in 10 years for RICO, right? Whatever the terms are, they need to be appropriately contextualized. And so a number of copyrights and patents are about to be canceled, revoked, and there's going to be prosecutions for the illegal acquisition of things that should never have been allowed to be copyrighted or patented by those people, and all of the attendant crimes associated with that. But there's this pattern I've been seeing the entire time I've been in Texas. You're writing something, especially someone like me, that has been used since I was very, very young in processes of amortization, and people have used me as tax wave offs and in connection with tax evasion and other kinds of crimes associated with whatever the fuck else they got going on. And because I'm an intelligent person and I'm capable of certain things, then I will have access to this information. It's on a very significant level. Right? And then right as I'm talking to somebody at a very key point, they gotta trash it. They junk it. I'm talking about appropriate appraisals in order to demonstrate appropriate understandings of what would be fixed assets for consideration in a legitimate process of discussing capital improvement bonds. And then the next thing I hear is, oh, well, you got to paint the house? Literally, that just happened. Now, I'm not saying if you're a house painter that's a bad thing. But this understanding of you're dealing with things from a macro perspective, and then somebody throws in a little bid. And usually, who are they going to get for that bid? Are they going to go to somebody? Are they going to go to a union painter? Are they going to get the highest quality paint? No, no, no. They're going to try to get one of their buddies to get a couple $100 to get some fucking paint deal for an interior paint job, and they're going to use that as a derivative with what you just talked about. So you're working these things and you're dealing with these things that are on a particular level, and somebody thinks it's funny to just make a joke about something. And usually, especially in Texas, they ping their kid. You're talking about something, there's no legitimate reason to talk about children, and then they have to tell you some random fucking insert about something their kid did. They've programmed this. They've done this the entire time I've been here. And what they do is, especially at a certain point when you're talking about things that need to have a certain level of security, they literally junk it with some discussion about a wreck or a calamity. Now, it's one thing if you're talking about troubleshooting, or it's one thing if you're talking about critical thinking in order to solve potential problems, in order to create safety and security. That's not what they do. Every chance they get, they got to throw something in there right at the critical moment to junk it, catastrophize it, make it a liability. And it's like it doesn't have any actual reason. There's no actual sense in terms of what I was just talking about. And then, if you're like me, you get frustrated. Why do you have to keep talking about your fucking kid? Your kid has nothing to fucking do with this. Your injury had nothing to fucking do with this. They're not non sequiturs, they're not random. That's how they junk the bond. And then what happens when they junk the bond? What was the discussion the night of Antonin Scalia's heart attack? What were they talking about? Were they talking about junk bonds and genetic engineering? Did somebody think that they wanted to, I don't know, maybe patent or copyright whatever was discussed? And they knew that a sitting Supreme Court justice might be able to effectively issue a challenge to the arrogance of somebody thinking that they could try to junk a Supreme Court justice's bond so that they could genetically engineer other people with other kinds of characteristics they liked. I believe that's exactly what happened. And in about 5 minutes, markets close on the headquarters, right? In the business day, on your local business operations. I wouldn't dare try to junk your bond, but I would say that I'm pretty certain almost every fucking patent and copyright that you've put into effect since the beginning of the Affordable Care Act is illegal and illicit, and it's about to be undone.